Yes, man. Number one station in the streets 945. I am Fly Guy DC, Mr. 6 to 10. And I have one of them ones in here, not the two, not the three, but the numero uno. Please introduce yourself to the city of Atlanta, my brother.
What's up? What's up? It's Saucy Santana. We at 94.5.
Now, first and foremost, I appreciate you for taking your time, sitting with me, and publicly, let me say, live on the radio and live on this interview. I appreciate you for coming out for my special set at Clark Atlanta Homecoming. That meant a lot to me. That meant a lot to them kids. So anything you need when it comes to shaking music, moving music in the city, I'm behind you 1,000%, just off of the simple fact that you did that. We never met before then, and you did that off of the strength of Trade Tracks and Johnny. Like, I appreciate that. And man to man, I want to tell you, I appreciate that.
For sure. I got you.
Now, for the people who don't know who Saucy Santana is, just give them a little background of who Saucy is.
I'm from Tallahassee, Florida. Well, really Perry, Florida, but it's a small town. What, right here?
Yeah, talking.
It's a small town, so most people know Tallahassee, that's the capital, but it's like 45 minutes outside of that. I'm just Saucy Santana, period. Like, what you want me to say?
Now, you started off as a makeup artist.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how did all that come about?
I started off doing makeup. I had gotten into makeup when I was like 17. As I got older, I started like doing other girls in the city. I had like my own shop called the Doll House. So I was doing makeup, selling hair, selling, clothes and all that shit there. Once I moved to Tallahassee, I went to Tallahassee because it was bigger. So it was more opportunities, more way for me to make money. I started doing, city girls makeup and stuff like that. And soon after that, I just started playing around with freestyling. I never thought I was going to be no rapper. I never thought it was nothing serious like that. I know a lot of niggas in the hood that used to be rapping. I thought rapping was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know mad niggas in the hood that, rapping all that, but it's like, you just rapping at home, bullshitting around. But, it's really started kind of hitting. So I just had a hustler mindset thinking like, oh, shit, I'm going to make me a raw-ass song and I'm going to just start getting booked for shows. So that's when I did Walk 'Em Like a Dog. I did 1 million streams in a week and everything just changed.
Now, when everything changed, did you expect the change to come that fast?
I didn't. I just thought like I was confident in the song because when I was doing like my little freestyles, I did a freestyle to Tatiana, it went viral. I did a freestyle to Act Up by the City Girls. So like I started buzzing in the city kinda, but I wasn't thinking like I was gonna do a song and it was gonna do 1 million streams in a weekend. Record labels was gonna start calling it rapping was gonna be like a serious thing for me.
Now, speaking of City Girls, what's your relationship with them like?
It's fun like what y'all kind of see on the internet, but it's like a real friendship. Like we really are real friends. We get on the phone and talk about like dead ass serious shit. It's not all kicks and giggles, just like a little internet relationship. Like them really my sisters.
And how long have you been knowing City Girls?
I've been knowing them since 2018. You would think like we childhood friends, but we just like 2018.
And when it comes to your music and just you being saucy in general, what's they take on that situation?
They very supportive. They behind me 100% always. Me and JT is like more of the serious friends. So like she's always on the phone, encouraging me to go harder, you know what I'm saying? Giving me new sounds, shit like that. But Carisha, she got her Carisha Please website. She's always making my songs like her song of the week. It was her idea to hop on. She should like they real supportive.
Now, outside of music, who is Saucy Santana?
Outside of music, I really just be outside of music. I just be chilling, like I'm turned. I like to have fun. I like to still, kind of be to myself and still get that aesthetic. But I'm just, a lit bitch.
Now, personally, when did you figure out when did you figure out your sexuality?
I came out when I was 17.
Mm-hmm. And were you living in Florida at the time?
Yeah, I was living in Florida at the time. So I was 17. I think it was like I was in the 11th grade when I came out. So when I first came out, I came out as like bisexual to kind of like just break the ice.
Mm-hmm.
And girls were still trying to talk to me. And so I was just like, okay, like, girl, I'm gay. Leave me alone. Yeah, I was like 17. I had came out. What was back then? Was it MySpace? No, it was Facebook.
Facebook.
It was on Facebook. I had made like a little post.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, I'm bisexual. It's my birthday.
And you did that on your birthday?
I did it on my birthday. And so, of course, like it started buzzing. My mom would call me like, what you put on Facebook? I'm like, I just tell everybody it is what it is.
So how did your family react to that situation?
Initially, my mama was not having it.
Mhm.
She was just like, because when I had came out, I was so bold. I was so flamboyant. I was wearing makeup. I was getting my nails done. I was like wearing girl clothes. So I think for my mama, she had more so of the her thing was you could be gay, but why you so girly? Why you so loud? With it. She didn't understand it. She didn't know like was I finna try to be transgender? She ain't know really, what was going on. I feel like with my dad, it was kind of opposite. My dad was more so like just chill, laid back. But growing up, my dad was a celebrity bodyguard.
Mm.
So my dad was always real tough and like just monster growing up. And I feel like with my daddy take was it was like my daddy raised me tough like a boy. Growing up, I never fought girls. Like, still to this day, I don't fight girls. Like, I grew up fighting boys. I didn't even start fighting gay boys till I was like, I think I probably had my first fight with a gay boy. I was probably like 20. I always fought
And how
niggas.
old are you now?
I'm 27.
Okay.
I'm 28. Sheesh. I'm 28. My birthday is just in October. Growing up, like in school, I fought boys. I played football. I played basketball. I did all the sports. So I think with my daddy, it's like, you kind of like see it in your child growing up, like, yeah, he's gonna be a special one. But I feel like my daddy just was like, I know you ain't no pussy.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is. Now the relationship with my parents, everything is just like A1. They respect me as such. My mama would be calling me for fashion advice and type shit. Like, so everything kosher now.
So, what are some of the challenges that you face being a artist who's out that a average artist wouldn't face?
Just the fact of me being gay, and not only me being gay, me being feminine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, in hip hop culture, this shit ain't really haven't been done before. You kind of see it like, gimmick wise, or anytime you kind of see shit like this, it's like it's a joke type of thing. And with me like this, Santana 7 days out the week. So it's just getting people on board, getting people to really fuck with your movement, and getting people to get used to that shit. People still got their limitations on what they want to get behind, how they feel their peers gonna look at them, how they feel other people gonna think of them if they get behind shit. And that's even shit that Trey went through. When I started working with Trey, me and him ain't know each other.
And it's crazy, and I don't mean to cut you off, because when Trey started working with you, like, I would get calls about Trey, like, yo, what's up with Trey? But yet again, and like I said, I ain't mean to cut you off, but when someone is confident in their sexuality, no matter what the other person is, that shit doesn't matter. Talent is talent, and you can't knock that shit. And I'm saying this on this interview live on the radio. Like, my nigga, you're talented. Like,
Thank
fuck
you.
what everybody else is talking about.
Yeah.
Keep being you. But go ahead, my bad.
And so, we got a portion of people that's like that. That's like how you talking and feel the same way you saying. Then we still got the same, portion to like, I call them like, the uncles, the old head niggas I know that's just like, nah, that shit ain't right. Nah, we ain't doing that. And it's just like, it's the obstacle, but at the same time, I just like, what I'm saying, my music is undeniable. A hit is a hit. You know what I'm saying? When I first came out Walking Like a Dog, before people had a face to the case, they thought it was a girl rapping that song. And then it was like I was on getting calls from labels, and I'm like, yeah, hello. They like, oh. I'm like, yeah, what happened? Oh, you already like the song, so what we talking about? Because you already called for something.
So did labels give a pushback when they found out that you were actually a dude on songs like that?
It was kind of like y'all wasn't really trying to offer what y'all would have offered a girl.
Okay.
Y'all was, and then people still looked at it as, gimmicky, like, he probably just went viral on this one song. So, they wasn't really, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't really talking about nothing for me to just be like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, if I ain't never did shit, I recorded Walking Like a Dog in my bathroom. I wrote it in the bathroom, recorded in the closet. And I did 1 million streams in a week. That's off me, by myself, no label, no nothing. So now I'm seeing I got the potential. I'm not just gonna go for anything. Like, nah, we're not doing that. You're gonna have to put respect on it.
So being in the heterosexual homophobic industry, like, what keeps Santana going? Like, outside of the friendships that you have in the industry, outside of everything that goes along with this industry, what keeps you sane and keeps you on the right level and path to still be Santana at the end of the day?
I always been, even when I was younger, I always had a I don't give a fuck attitude. I always had an attitude of, I'ma do me and I'ma do whatever makes Santana happy. So even when I was younger, coming out being gay, having my nails done, having girls' clothes, wearing girl clothes, wearing makeup, it take balls to walk in Walmart and little kids looking at you crazy and people looking at you like, what the fuck? I just always like, I don't give a fuck. I'm doing me and I feel comfortable and I feel good. So I got that same mindset, you know what I'm saying? Within rap and I'm the type of nigga like you gonna have to respect it or check it.
Mm-hmm.
So even with and I've watched me being me and me doing me, and I've watched people fall in line constantly day
Mm-hmm.
by day. I'm in the mall, Chance the Rapper walked up to me like, damn, I'm a fan, you doing your
Yeah,
shit.
because
I'm
you have to
like,
respect it. I
who the
mean,
fuck you talking to me? Like, you know me? He was like, yeah. The other day, Kevin Gates like, hey, saying keep doing your thing. I'm like, how y'all fucking know Santana? Like, so it's just like, I see that shit. Lil Yachty stopped me in the studio like, bro, you hard, keep going. So it's like, if people falling in line with the shit, and so that's what gave me the motivation. Like, yeah, I just got to keep being me because I ain't switching up shit. I ain't doing nothing to try to make nobody feel comfortable. Try to make nobody, I ain't trying to be accepted. You gon' either you with it or you not.
so do you think your sexuality has played a role in your success?
Definitely. I feel like it's a blessing in disguise, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I try to look at the glass, half full. Even though I'm gangster like that, it's like me being who I am that's me being down to how I rap. That's down to me in the studio. Trey, I want this type of beat. That's down to me rapping with this type of flow. That's down to me getting on the internet, setting trends on TikTok, how I talk, my lingo. The whole world want to talk like me. I had all the niggas making songs. It's giving me. It's this for me. It's that for me. That's gay lingo. Y'all heard that coming from Santana, me and Carisha on live. Now all the niggas is making songs like it's giving me. It's giving me. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I just look at that shit and I keep going.
So do you think your music is paving the way for the LBGQT community?
Definitely. I feel like I'm opening a door for us because you really haven't had a rapper, I feel like me.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying, with me just constantly breaking down the door and breaking down barriers, that's gonna make it's not gonna look so foreign when you
When it
have
happens.
other artists, you know what I'm saying, up under me, that want to do the same thing. That's just like with female rap when, females able to break down that door, it ain't look foreign. Now it's 20, 50 female rappers, and it don't look weird when back when I was little, it was only nigga rappers, and you had like one girl. Now you got, you know what I'm saying, 50 females that's all rapping at the same time, and it don't look weird. So I look at it kind of like that, like, I'm breaking the door down so that when other little lit popping gay rappers come up and they have a hit song or they got talent, nobody ain't gonna kind of look at them crazy when they trying to get through the door.
So speaking of the younger generation who are going towards the route that you went, what would be some words that you would give them? And this is going to be my last question about this. But what would be some words of advice you would give a younger person who is feeling the same way you feel, who wants to be just like you and want to be in your shoes? Like, what advice would you give them?
I will always tell them to be yourself, be you 100%. People could read your aura, people could see your energy. So when a lot of times when I'm talking to people and people around me, people like, yo, that's, he a real nigga at the end of the day, but that's really him 7 days a week. And people gon' fuck with that versus nobody don't want to get behind something that looks like it's a facade or that looks like, you know what I'm saying, you just trying to build, you just trying to do stunts or shit like that. People really fuck with real energy and real vibes. So I feel like, people, I give that off, you know what I'm saying, whenever I'm interacting with people. And I will also tell them to just, I live in reality. So when I started rapping, and even still to this day, I rap from a female standpoint. And I chose to rap from a female standpoint, with me being feminine. It's other good gay rappers I know that are more masculine. And even when they just masculine, I would tell them, you kind of just rap from a nigga standpoint because it makes it universal. I knew gay rappers that would rap and they would say some wild ass shit. And I would be like, man, if they play that shit in the straight club, they finna start shooting niggas. It's turning. I'm like, you can't say that. And you can be yourself 100%, but to cross over to everywhere, I was able to touch kids. I was able to touch the girls. Now the girls listen to my music. So now your baby daddy and your daddy like, oh, that nigga hard. I got aunties. I got grandmas. I was in LA. I got like rock fans. I got Arabic fans. I was able to be universal because I didn't rap a certain type of way that just kept me in a gay box or in the LGBT club. I was shocked as hell when I first started rapping. I did more shows at straight clubs than gay clubs because I was able to reach I was able to reach all audiences versus like rapping certain type of ways or certain things that only gays could understand and relate to.
Absolutely right. Well, look, man, don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial. More with Saucy coming up. Keep it locked. Streets 945. Yes, man, and we are back with Saucy Santana, and we're going to get right into it, man. How has being from Florida impact your style of rap?
I feel like being from Florida, like just I feel like Florida people is different.
Mhm.
Like it's nothing like a Florida bitch. And I feel like that come even down to just how we talk, how we rap, the things that we rap about. I grew up on a lot of Trina, Jackie O, Kaya, my favorite rapper, Gucci Man, even though Gucci Man is like from Atlanta, but just us being from Florida, me being in like middle school, getting in trouble, listening to Gucci type shit, like, you know, all of that really influenced my style of rapping and, you know, what I talk about. Even down to like our lingo. My song that recently went viral on TikTok, Material Girl. A lot of people love the fact that I say girl, like GWORL. And so like all the kids took that shit and ran with it. They like, oh my God, he always say girl, he say girl. But that's just really how we talk. Like, girl, what you doing?
Yeah.
So I just think Florida people and just Florida music is just so unique and that really make me stand out.
So perfect, which leads into, now you said your favorite rapper is Gucci. Now, why is Gucci your favorite rapper?
Gucci my favorite rapper. I feel like when I was younger, I grew up Silver Spoon. So I know I'm a real street and real hood to people, but I grew up Silver Spoon, 5 acres of land. My mama was always like the general managers of like her jobs. My daddy was celebrity bodyguard, so I grew up around celebrities, sitting at the skybox at games when I'm 10, eating fucking linguine and all. I'm like, I want chicken tenders. Man. So, you know, I grew up like, you know, in a lavish kind of lifestyle. And once I had started getting older, like my mama was real. You can't hang out in the projects. I couldn't do a lot of, you know, shit that the bad kids was doing. And so I just started rebelling like, man, I'm outside, I'm off the porch, like I want to go see what's out there. And Gucci was one of the first like people I started listening to when I started getting into the streets. And I just fell in love with just the whole trap movement, the beats, how Gucci talked, like how versatile he was, and I just stuck with that shit ever since. I used to get in trouble. I'm in my room talking about flipping birds and some motion. Mama like, man, turn that off. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, man, this shit raw.
Now,
I want to be like him.
who are your top 5 rappers from Florida, dead or alive, in no particular order? Your top 5.
Top 5, Trina, Jackie O, Iceberg, Kaya, and who else from Florida? I can't think of no fifth one.
No Raw Wave, no Kodak.
Broadway, Kodak.
Now, outside of Florida, who's your top 3 outside of Gucci?
Oh. Bag, Money Bag, Future, who else I like? It's like Gucci Bag and Future.
So Gucci Bag and Future. Now, I'm going to switch it a little bit. R&B female, top 2.
Summer Walker and K Michelle.
Now, R&B males, top 2.
Do I listen to R&B males? I feel like I like Miguel.
You like Miguel?
And like Frank Ocean or something.
Okay. Now, talk to us a little bit about this 8-episode series you got coming out. Can we speak on that?
It's like, you know, we gonna wait. I don't know if everything been finalized yet, so I don't really want to speak on something. But I got other something else in the works. Cause I don't know which one you're talking about. But I got something in the works that is finalized that we already, you know what I'm saying, in real time filming. And it's just basically gonna be the makings of Saucy Santana. So I'm gonna be showing y'all shit I go through behind the scenes, showing y'all how I put in the legwork behind what I'm saying, my albums and stuff, music coming out. I'm still an independent artist.
Mm-hmm.
So to a lot of my fans, they kind of look like I already made it to
Mm-hmm.
people. Cause I got Walk, I got Here We Go, I got Material Girl. I got a good rap sheet and I have a lot of accolades that people like, oh yeah, he's already made it. When it's so much shit that I have to do and so many more accomplishments and goals that I have to overcome. And I know it looks to people sometimes like, oh, he already lit, but I still have to put in a lot of work, behind releases. When I drop, I don't get heavy radio play. Like, I gotta build relationships and shit like that with people. I ain't got no big ass billboards in New York when my album, come out and shit like that. It's a lot of stuff I gotta do. I gotta go. Even I was like putting together like with the lead single with a Shisha with City Girls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting together like a little hookah tour, going to like the little lit hookah lounges, letting the DJs break the record. It's still a lot of shit that I have to do, behind the scenes, on top of, battling with the hardships of, like this project that I just did with, Keep It Player.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of like my biggest headaches. You got like my label wanting me to sound a certain type of way, and I'm like, nah, that ain't even the vibe, of this album. Like,
What was it, Johnny?
Tweaking.
Was it Johnny?
Nah, it wasn't Johnny. It wasn't Johnny. It was more so like, my music label and stuff. Just labels feeling like everybody looking at TikTok and just looking at different sounds and how people is, and I'm like, Santana kind of, I always kind of make it being myself. I don't really got to mimic off nobody or kind of mimic off of what we think is going to be viral or what we think, people going to like. People just like how I'm constantly giving them shit. I'm giving them different type of music and I'm being diverse on my own versus it being forced. So that was a headache. Relationships. I'm just really taking people like, kind of behind the scenes. Santana, people often see Santana on Instagram and on live, and we turned up and we Casamigos and we but I got a real serious life and I got a lot of business to handle behind the scenes.
Absolutely right. Now, could you see yourself doing a collab with Lil Nas X in the future?
For sure.
Next question. A lot of negative comments coming from a lot of artists about the community that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever see yourself working with any of those people? For example, the Baby and Boosie have talked they spoke their opinion on the situation. Do you ever see there being a common ground to where you'll work with them in the near future?
I feel like if anything, it needs to be a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas really got to be educated before you come out your mouth with some wild ass shit. And I don't play no clown shit. I'm not getting behind nothing for no record label. I'm not getting behind nothing to seem cool with them niggas or none of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Niggas really got to be addressed. And I feel like, people just need to be educated. I'm not about like really just crashing down, shunning people out. But before I even sit down and have a conversation about ever collaborating, I need to sit down and have a conversation with you about the shit that you say.
So do you think that and I'm gonna use the Black community because I'm a part of the Black community, but do you think that the Black community is not educated like they need to be on that side of things?
Most definitely. That's why people say so much ignorant shit. Really, when you sit down and it's like, people could, and I'm not saying that they so bullheaded that they can't comprehend, but sometimes people just need to sit down and be like, hey, bro, what you said, this was the problem, and this is where it went left. And you know what I'm saying? You just educate people on things, and then a nigga could be like, you know what, damn, bro, I ain't even think about it like that. Yeah, you're right, I respect it.
So do you think that community cancels people without trying to educate them?
What, the gay community?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, with me interviewing you, is that okay for me to say that?
What?
Like gay, the G word.
Yeah, gay, okay, yeah, LGBT, gay, whatever you want to say. Like, as long as you ain't saying faggot, sissy, no crazy shit. Gay is fine. Sometimes on my community, they are bullies, and they'll be like, oh, you know what? You said some fucked up shit. We canceling you, know what I'm saying? Without kind of.
So you're admitting y'all are bullies.
The community sometimes they will because It's just like, we already on defense.
Mm-hmm.
We already ourselves on defense mode because we gotta walk in the room and we gotta worry about being, separated or put to the side, by the heterosexual people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of like when you do something to the gays, they ready to get on your ass. You know what I'm saying? They kind of feel like it give us a level of power.
Mm-hmm.
Because we already put down. We already kind of looked at less than, oh, you gay, so we gonna put y'all over there. So sometimes the gays do abuse their authority, but I just say that we want to educate people before we just so quick to cancel them. You know what I'm saying? Now, once you say something to somebody and they still want to be a dick and act like they don't get it, then by all means, it's up.
So how do you come to that common ground? Like, in your opinion, like, how does that community educate the African American community who's uneducated on the situations or scenarios?
I just feel like both parties really got to be willing, because some niggas really don't want to hear it. Some niggas want to be stuck in their ways and be like, fuck what y'all talking about, and make these whack ass excuses like, oh, I got a gay cousin, I got a gay. That don't mean shit. If that's the case, then you should have more empathy and you should sit down and think before you say something. If you know that you got relatives, or if you got people that's in your camp around you that that's in our community. So I feel like just both mutual parties, both people got to be willing to want to come together and figure out the problem. A lot of people like to once they get in trouble for doing some shit, make these little fake PR stunts and be like, oh, my cousins is gay and all that. But you really got to understand, like, you know what I'm saying? People in my camp, Trey being my brother and really knowing, you know what I'm saying? Well, not really knowing my lifestyle, but, just respecting me as such. It's just certain shit that he ain't going to do and he ain't going to say because I'm his people.
Mm-hmm. Understood. Now, Nicki Minaj shouted you out.
Oh, Nika Tanya.
Gave you your flowers. Said y'all will work together. Within such a short period of time, there's so many that has came before you, so many artists, so many people just in the universe as an artist in general who has never got that stamp of approval or just stamp from her in general. How did that make you feel? And what were you doing when that happened?
When I think I was doing a show, I was in Fayetteville and my phone had just started blowing up. Everybody was like, Nikki wants you to get on live with her. Nikki wants you to get on live with her. I'm like, huh? And Nikki had already did an interview on Clubhouse, and they was asking her if she would remix any song, what would it be? And she was like, Saucy Santana. And so it had got real big on it, and then everybody sent it to me. But when they said she wanted to get on live with me, it was like a different ballgame, because I had Nicki Minaj been following me on Instagram. She followed me on Twitter. She'll retweet, she'll say something about me on live, or she might comment on something, but I never had no back and forth dialogue with Nicki. So that was like a big deal, you know what I'm saying? Being on her live, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm on live, you know what I'm saying? Talking to Nicki. I kept it playing. My best friend Mitch was with me at the time. He's screaming like we had the Summer Jam concert.
Now, that's and I don't mean to cut you off, but that's a question that I was going to ask you. And while you said it, I have to ask you right now. What does keep it playing mean to you? Because I know everybody has their own definition of it, but what does it mean in saucy lingo?
Keeping it playing just mean like, keeping it cool, you know what I'm saying? Just keeping everything chill. Like, I kind of grew up being around celebrities and stuff like that, so I try to respect celebrities as such. Celebrities are still human. They still people. They wake up, they breath stink in the morning just like everybody else. So it's like, I'm just, I ain't trying to, it's Nicki, but I ain't trying to give like fan vibes. I'm trying to give like cool, like, what's up, Nick? Like, I was trying to give off more like, homegirl, like, type of vibe or whatever, versus, because I know sometimes for me, I get startled when people be around me and be like, I'm like, chill, like, what's up? What's this great? You good? You want a shot? Like, what's up? Just, vibe, keep it cool, keep it G. So that's just keep it playing to me. Keep it playing just to me, you know what I'm saying? Everything, like, you just gotta be cool, you just gotta have that swag.
So with her saying that, and then with the live situation, her following you, how does that make you feel about your future in the game as an artist?
It really let me know that, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing something right. It let me know that, somebody like Nicki and to have a Nicki cosign is legendary. And like me and Nicki really be DMing, like we was just DMing the other day. And I be laughing. I'm like, bitch, we be in the DMs. I'm talking to say like she my homegirl. But it just give me that motivation, when I get, co-signs from people like Nicki. Cardi B just DM'd me the other day and was like, man, I just heard that album. Your album is fucking raw. Like, this the shit I'm talking about. This the music I want to get into, blah, blah, blah. So it just let me know, like, for people of that caliber to, get co-signing and, just giving me motivation, and let me know that I ain't on no bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this ain't no play music. I ain't no rapper I ain't no viral rapper or no nigga that just went viral. Like, nah, I'm really putting in the work, and it's being seen. It ain't going unnoticed.
So speaking of motivation, Michelle Obama, favorite music list of 2021.
Who made that?
I'm just listen. They make now the Obamas do make a list every year.
So you think that was real?
I don't think it was fake. They make a list every year. Like, it's something that they do every single year. Like, they put out a list of their top songs of the whole year. Now, if it is real, which I think it is, because they don't fake those. Like, I've never heard of one being fake when it released, or when it came out. But how does that make you feel?
It's cool. I like that, and I like when like, we look at Michelle Obama as like classy.
Mm-hmm.
So you expect her to be at home listening to like SZA and Erykah Badu. or something like a Mary J. Blige or something.
Yeah.
So that's something, because I always joke with my mama, about that. My mama be like, boy, you just act so ghetto. You wasn't even raised like that. And I was like, Mom, people like ghetto. People be in the streets, you know what I'm saying, and they suit and tie. But when a bitch go home, a bitch want to get ratchet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When you trying to unwind, when you in your car, when you just doing you know what I'm saying? You want to have fun. You want to listen to music where, somebody talking that shit. And, Michelle Obama probably feel like, you know what I'm saying, make that fuck nigga cash out. She might not just say it like that.
So how would she say it? If she was saying in her terms, how would she say make that fuck nigga cash out?
Give me like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how she's gonna say it. She just give me classy, like, like, hey babe, can I get your checkbook? And you know what I'm saying? I might more see like, what nigga the rent do? What's the problem?
Absolutely.
So you know what I'm saying? But we both got the same message.
Absolutely right. But look, man,
so I think that be people like people like how they have alter ego. That like we the ghetto bitch living inside somebody.
Absolutely right. Well, listen, man, more with Saucy coming up, and we're going to talk about that album. Don't go nowhere, don't touch that dial. Let's go. Yes, man, number one station in the Streets 945. I am Fly Guy DC, and we are back with Saucy. Now, is it okay if I call you that? Because when we was at the homecoming concert, I ain't finished the Saucy Santana. I just was calling you Saucy, Saucy, like, and then now people, like, my Asia has came up to me and was like, you done gave him your own nickname. Is that okay, first and foremost?
Nah, people call me Saucy. I prefer Santana. Santana say I'm a player.
Oh, so keep it player. Okay, enough said.
But I don't mind Saucy. A lot of people call me Saucy. They'll say Saucy. They'll say Santana. They'll say their own name. It don't matter.
Now, speaking of the concert, you had one of the biggest reactions.
Yeah.
And let me say that again. I brought out 18 special guests. You had one of the biggest. You had the top 3. And wasn't number 3 or number 2.
Hello.
But you had one of the biggest reactions, and thank you to all my guests that came. I appreciate all y'all. But you had one of the biggest reactions out of everybody. Mm-hmm. Even some of the artists that the school had booked.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Hold on, I gotta let y'all hear it. You gotta hear this shit. The GOAT.
So how did that make you, like, because and I didn't doubt it, but I was like I wasn't on the fence because I reached out to Trey Tracks. And I was like, yo, I need Saucy, blah, 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 blah. But I brought you out earlier because I didn't know. I knew, but I didn't know.
It.
And it was like I knew the element of surprise was going to be there, but I didn't know it was going to be like on a scale of 1 to 20, that shit hit a 30. Yeah. I didn't know it was going to be at a 30, and if I would have known it was going to be at a 30, I would have brought you out last.
Yeah.
But how did that feel, like, knowing that you had the biggest reaction?
I ain't gonna lie. I still, like, have my little butterflies, like, what they gonna say, you know what I'm saying, is they gonna know the music, whenever I'm doing big crowds like that. So like I had that's how I was kind of like with Rolling Loud.
Mm-hmm.
Even in 2019 when I had headline with Meg Thee Stallion and Rap Caviar, I wasn't even booked for that show. I had just ended up going to the concert. It was an all female show at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was Mulatto, Lil Kim, Sweetie, Meg Thee Stallion. It was an all girl show. When I got it, they was like, "Oh, Santana here. We finna get you mic'd." I was like, "Y'all want me to go out there and perform?" I was like, "That's a lot of people out there." I was still used to doing little clubs, so I know a little 100, 200 people. I could make it
Mm-hmm.
look lit. So I still have like my little butterflies or whatever, but I just feel like once I get out there and they see me and they see my energy, and I know I always try to perform songs that I feel like is like my highest performance because I hate a dead crowd or people
Mm-hmm.
don't know the words. So it made me feel good though. It made me feel good that I could be amongst the lineup that I was with and make a whole lot of motherfucking noise. And that just shows the impact and the influence that I have. A lot of you could have a 10 million followers on Instagram and all that, but do people really give a fuck about
Mm-hmm.
you? So I think impact and influence is very important, and it makes me proud when I get those type of reactions.
Now, is Saucy going to be doing any acting in the future
I think
outside of like
so.
like
Um,
reality, like acting?
I feel like I've grown now into realizing that I have a lot of everybody don't have star power.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody don't have star quality. Some people just have the quality of being a good rapper, you know what I'm saying, and that's that. Um, I could just tell by the branding deals that we get, by the conversations that I have behind the scenes. I'm like, I really got the presence and the star power and the aura to do whatever I want. So I definitely now I feel like before when I first came out, I was so big on I'm a rapper, I'm a rapper, I'm a rapper, I'm a rapper. That that's all I wanted to stick to, being a rapper. I didn't like for people to see me and be like, "Oh my God, you so funny. Oh my God, I love your personality." I'm like, "Bitch, I ain't funny. I'm a rapper. Like, what you
Mm-hmm.
mean?" But now I just embrace. I just gotta embrace being Santana. That's what comes with the territory.
Now, how did it feel? Because you said star power, and this only usually happens to people who have star power. But Halloween just passed, and I seen a lot of people
Star
dressing
power.
up as Saucy Santana for
Star
Halloween.
power, impact, and influence.
How did that feel? What was your
Um,
reaction when you first seen the first one?
Initially, when I first started rapping, my first year rapping, they was me for Halloween, and I cussed their ass out like a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And all my fans were so offended. I was like, "Bitch, don't be me for Halloween. Be yourself." You know what I'm saying? What you trying to recreate
Mm-hmm.
me for? And I don't even like how you recreated it, so I'm real mad. But now I just look at it as just a sense of flattery, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that y'all want to be Santana. I'm glad that I have that much influence on people that out of the 1 year you could be any fucking body.
Mm-hmm.
It's so many people that's way, what I'm saying, bigger than Santana that you could have been. You chose to be me, so I'm just thankful.
Now, let's jump into the process of Santana making music. Of course, the reason why we hear the album. And before we get into that, how did you and Trey Tracks meet? Like, when did that happen?
We met through my label, like with Stream Cut. Trey was one of the engineers and stuff there, and at the time I was just going through different engineers trying to figure out which one worked for me. And I think our first song was Material Girl that me and Trey did. So we just really was in the lab, and I liked it how he recorded me, and he just initially we ain't had a relationship. It was
Mhm.
just like I come in the studio, bitch, you press the button, I come in here, I rap, and we keep it like that. And I think just over the time we made good music together. We just built a bond, and we just really have like a chemistry. Trey to go.
Mhm.
So a lot of my hits is produced by Trey. A lot of my beats is produced by Trey. And so it's just like um we like Shaq and Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Kobe.
Now,
whatever.
Now, Trey,
Yeah.
when all of this first happened and you first met Santana and it was his first time in the studio and you were the engineer, what was your mindset off of the first interaction?
The first interaction, it was like, I mean, I already knew who he was because he was popping online from the lives and everything. And I remember it was the Material Girl session that we did, and I just pulled up on him because I knew he was at the studio and I knew he was gonna record on my beat. So I just popped up out of nowhere, and I walked up on him and I was like, "Yo, what's up? I'm Trey Tracks. I did this beat." And off rip, he was just excited. He was like, "Yo, like, you did that beat. That beat was hard. Like, just," and his energy was just there. So it was like, okay, you cool. You're not really an asshole to me. Like, okay, let's do this. Let's make this work. Of course, it's like, everybody around is skeptical because of the whole gay stigma and everything. But I just was open to it, and just from there, it just went crazy.
Now, with you being open and y'all building a bond, how did your friends react? Like, how did people around you react? Like, what were the feedback you were getting from everybody else outside of people inside of your camp?
I mean, like, not everybody's as open as me. Not everybody's as confident in their sexuality as me. And I know who I am. I know what I like and who I am, period. So I can't be swayed any type of way. Nobody can say anything that can sway me any type of way. But a lot of my friends and a lot of my peers or even just people around just were, "Oh, why are you working with him? He's gay. Like, that's weird." Making it just seem something that just, like, they didn't see the whole vision from it.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the whole vision from the jump. So they just weren't open to it. Still, I know a lot of people aren't open to it that I come in contact with. Like, I done dealt with a lot of stuff when it comes to working with him and just that whole thing, but I don't let it faze me at all.
So how has your brand benefited or reached levels that it wouldn't have reached as fast with you working with Saucy?
We built the sound together. So with us building the sound together and just really just running it all the way up, it has like opened up a lot of opportunities for me. It's expanded a lot of things that I've been doing because it's been a
long journey,
long time coming. So now with us clicking and it's like you said, it's Kobe and Shaq and I'm Kobe and everything. Like, no, you're Shaq. You're Shaq. But it just clicked. It's one of those things that just worked and it just was right timing, right place, everything. And
now everybody want a Trey Tracks beat.
That's a fact. Now, Trey, this question
Yeah.
is to you.
Uh-huh.
What is Santana's process when he gets in the studio? Like, walk us in from you already
I'm
being
telling
there.
the truth.
Yeah,
too.
listen. We need it all. I'm talking about from you already
All
being
right.
there. He walk in. What is his whole process?
This is the process, right? I'm telling the truth. Studio session at 8 o'clock from 8 to 2 a.m. I'll look at his location at 9 p.m. He'll just be at home, right? I'm still at the studio just waiting, setting up. The hookah's there, the bottle's there, Red Bull's there. That's all he needs, right? Casamigos Reposado. So I'm at the studio at 9. I check the location. He's on his way. But he's not on his way to the studio. He's on his way to Blue, or he's on his way to Copper Cove,
Okay.
or Hyde, or Cruise somewhere for an hour, and then he'll come to the studio, and then he'll already catch a vibe. So that really helps us. You know what I mean? So he's already in the mood to rap or execute the song that we need executed. And and we'll just take a bunch of shots, smoke a bunch of hookah. By the end of the night, we probably arguing with each other, getting on each other's nerves, but we making great music.
So what has been the biggest disagreement? It seemed like you left something out because he wiped his forehead.
That answer, brother. My man.
But what has been the biggest disagreement that you all have had just with y'all building this friendship?
Who's Kobe and Shaq?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Me and Trey don't really we don't really argue. Like, if anything, people are trying to come between me and Trey.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was like our biggest argument. Somebody had said something playing both sides, and I got mad at Trey like, "Bitch, you supposed to straighten them."
Mm-hmm.
And it was so funny. Me and Trey was beefing. I was working with like other
It was
engineers.
great.
I was miserable.
So how did that go? That's what I was about to say. How did that go?
I was miserable. I was like, fuck, I don't want to say sorry.
So
And
did
so-
you come back and say sorry?
And no, I just kind of like, it was like, I was like, I had called but I was like, well, I can't make no music, so y'all need to tell Trey something because this shit ain't working. And so it was so funny. So we had ended up getting back in the studio, And Trey tried to give me his little off-brand beats like I was on
Oh,
punishment.
he tried to play you.
He tried to give me like, the little, I was like, okay, whatever. Still made a hit out of it. And then, we got right back. But Trey is really like my brother. Like, outside of being my engineer and outside of beats, like I could really call Trey about real shit. So it's just like, we locked in. So it's kind of like we don't really, you know what I'm saying, argue. Like we don't have disagreements and shit like that.
We figure it out.
Yeah.
If there's any problem, and it don't be problems, it just be frustrations.
It be frustration.
Yeah,
so Trey not confrontational. So if Trey know if I go Brady or just me and my he'll be like, all right, and now I'm real mad because I want to argue. Why you want to argue with me? He'll be like, all right, bro.
Understood.
I'm like, no, bitch, argue.
So yeah, now what I will say, Trey has been on my line for the longest, like sending me stuff from you,
going hard for you.
literally going hard for you, and I guarantee you probably had no knowledge of it. So I will give you your flowers right here, Trey, while he's right here, and I'm not just saying that because you're right here, but it's been years. Trey has been on my line, like, yo, you gotta, and I always give him my feedback, like always gave him my feedback no matter what, even before I met you. But Trey is somebody who I can say who is in your corner for the good rather than the bad. And Trey, I had to give you your flowers on this interview live on the radio while he's right here. Now let's talk the album. Your debut goddamn album. How the hell does it feel?
It feel good just to see the response. I ain't gonna lie. I personally I didn't feel like this album was any extra like spark. Because I feel like I drop consistently. I always feel like with me being independent, I drop shit every 3-4 months. I'm putting something out because I feel like I just need to stay in the conversation. I need to stay in, you know what I'm saying, in your face. And so I'm used to putting out a project and I pull like 2 hits out of it and then we go on to the next thing. So the whole time Trey like, man, we got some shit. But Trey always say we got some shit. So I'm like, we got some little records or whatever, we got the City Girl feature, you know what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. It's good. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, we gon' get, what we need to get done out of it. And then, in September, and around spring, summertime next year, I'm gonna hit their ass again. So then for it to just come out and then like, it's just been a different response, with this album. Even just the cosigns, people getting behind it. And, I just went top 10, on Spotify. With the albums, I'm in the same conversation with Gucci Mane and Roddy Ricch. And so I'm like, damn, like, I don't know if it's some special crack in this album or something, but it's just, it feel good and it make me proud, because I ain't see it coming. And I think sometimes my friends could kind of know, like, I think with me, to make myself feel better, sometimes I'll be like, oh, it ain't gonna be all that. Just so like I don't have get my hopes up, and then I'll be like, damn, it ain't do what I thought.
Now you worked with one male rapper on the whole entire album. What made you choose? So who else was
Trinidad?
Trinidad was on the album?
Yeah, he wasn't a feature, but he helped me write 2 songs. Okay,
so with you working with Beat King and Trinidad, salute to Trinidad. What made you choose those 2 out of the variety of males that are in the industry?
So Beat King actually, I don't know if this is exclusive, but I got a song with Beat King. No, he said it. I got a song with Beat King.
Damn, I thought it was gonna be an exclusive, Johnny.
Beat King came to me with a feature first. He just haven't put his album out yet, but I'm gonna be on his album too.
Okay.
So we do swaps and shit for each other. So I was like, Trey, we gotta come up, with a song for Beat King. And Trey's just so dope. He on the song I got with Beat King, he added, Beat King got that signature drop on how he rap. And so we had this sport and Trey had dropped the beat to plug Beat King in. I sent it to him. He was like, oh, bro, this shit, hard. And that song actually got a lot of good feedback. A lot of people like that song. With Trinidad, I was with City Girls. Trinidad, I didn't even know that Trinidad right. I remember Trinidad from Pot the Molly I'm Sweat.
Yeah.
And that was it.
All
I
go
thought that
everything.
man was long gone. But he writing shit. So I was at a writer's camp, I think, with the City Girls. and I had met him there, and we was just all vibing. And that's why I like when I'm able to be around certain areas, because a lot of people see Santana from like just how I look and be like, whoa, that's a lot. But when niggas get around, niggas be like, oh, he really like, he play as fuck, like he be chilling, like, he a vibe. And so me and him linked from there, and we was like, we gonna, link up and get in the lab and come up with some shit. So he came through. Shit, he really inspired Keep It Player. The song he helped me do Keep It Player and Lit Bitch. And Keep It Player ended up being the name of the album, because when I called Dad, that's how I call him Dad. When I called Dad, I was like, man, I want some player shit. Like, I feel like, I don't want to, I know, my fans love the loud, twerk, ratchet, put that pussy on his nose. I was like, but I want some player shit, because, that's really a part of my vibe. Like, I don't always be like, loud and like, sometimes I really just be like to keep my shit player. And so, he helped me create that vibe. Shout out to Dre too. Dre helped me with a lot of my like, references or different things if I need help. As being a rapper, and me writing, all of my music, you get writer's block. You really sometimes run out of shit to say. And or sometimes I just might keep rapping about my lifestyle. I might keep rapping about Chanel bags and APs when I really want to rap about something else, or somebody else might have another idea. Yeah. So when I first started rapping, I was real big on like, bitch, I know how to motherfucking rap, bitch. I don't need no motherfucking help. But really, like, when you sit down that shit, when you look at your favorite rappers and you go look at them credits, which is 8 people on that song that help, you know what I'm saying, writing, produce that shit or whatever like that. So I just feel like, I salute them niggas for fucking with me and just, really seeing the vision and not just looking at me like, nah, we ain't doing it, but just really seeing like, hey, bruh got talent, bruh got potential. This shit gonna go somewhere. I'm rocking with it.
Absolutely. Now, do you write for people?
No. I'm stingy right now.
Okay.
I feel like I got a point to prove.
So, you can still prove their point, and that's a whole.
They
gotta
be my face on it.
Okay.
They gotta be my face on it.
Understandable.
I don't want you getting all them awards, real big superstar with all my words. I want to be there, and then I can share my talents with y'all, because it's already hard for me. I kind of really sometimes take offense to somebody like, oh, you need to be a ghostwriter. No, I need to be a rapper. What I am. What's the problem?
I mean, you're doing good at it, so I mean.
So it's like I feel like I really want to stamp my foot in the ground all the way, and then like, okay, you can have a hit now.
Now, Walk, Here We Go. Which is your favorite?
Here We Go.
Why?
Here We Go. I feel like Here We Go was just like when I first heard the beat. Like, I tell Trey, I be like, Trey, this my vibe. This I want some shit like this. And I walked in the studio and the beat just dropped. I feel like when you hear Here We Go, I don't give a fuck if you gay, straight, albino, polka dot, but you gonna move. Like, that shit is just lit. You see, when at the show, soon as the beat dropped, the Here We Go, people went retarded. And it's so funny because I fought for Here We Go. When I had gave Here We Go to the label, they was like, nah. I was like, bitch, y'all crazy as hell. That song is raw. They was like, it's all right. It ain't really all that. But Here We Go is just one of my personal favorites. I think Walk is cool. Walk is I feel like Walk is a record that make you want to put your shit on. You know what I'm saying, and stuff. But Here We Go is just fun. That beat, if Here We Go give me Florida. And it's so fun. It's so funny because a lot of times when I hear Here We Go in the club, they play it right after Twerkulator. They either play Here We Go, then Twerkulator, or they play Twerkulator, then they play Here We Go.
That's a fact.
And it's just, that's our vibe. That's just Here We Go. Just give me Florida music, cute face, ass fat, jumping my jeans, jumping my bed. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking that shit. And it's just, it's a fun record. I feel like it gave me, Trey, no, I love a lot of like old school, like Uncle Luke type of music. Like, Here We Go, give me Kid and Play. What's the movie? House Party? It gave me some shit you would have heard back then. Like, it's just it's fun music.
Absolutely. Well, look, don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial. A couple of more questions, and we're going to let Saucy Santana get up out of here. Keep it locked at Streets 945. Yes, man, and we are back with Saucy Santana. Make sure y'all go get that album, Keep It Playing. Now, what is your favorite song off the album, and why is that your favorite song?
Spicy. I think Spicy is my favorite song. I think I like it because Spicy was the underdog song. And when I had first did Spicy, Spicy was fucked up at first. But I had it in my head. I was like, this a good record. I don't know. I don't know if I wasn't in the vibe. It ain't come out right. I was like, nah, I gotta go back and recut that song. Cause that song is hard. It just gave me, it was a cool record. Spicy and Keep It Player is like probably my top two.
Absolutely. Now, this has been a great year for you all around, as far as the TikTok world, the music world, just building the face card in the industry. Did you expect 2021 to go the way it did for you?
I'll wait in a little bit. I felt like I kind of pay attention to I'm very strategic in what I do. So I always try to make sure that it's giving elevation. So I'm like, I know behind the scenes I'm really working hard and really putting in the work. And I just see the opportunities that I've gotten so soon within rapping. So I've kind of learned now to have a little more patience because I know that my time coming.
Now, end of the year, what has been Saucy Santana's lowest point of 2021? Like, when did you feel like you were at your lowest? And why were you at that point?
I feel like no cocky shit. I ain't had no low points because I'm always working.
Okay.
So I feel like since I'm constantly working and putting out music and being in your face, I always have a chance of something hitting. So it's like Walk was December last year, December 3rd of last year, and people still playing Walk like it just came out yesterday. And then after Walk, boom, we came back with Here We Go. Then Material Girl went viral on TikTok. That song 2 years old. Then If It's Up went viral on TikTok. Rock With It went viral on TikTok. So it's like I work so hard and put out I give people so many different choices and so many different songs. Something is always hitting, even if it's hitting 2 years later. I got so much genre of music that I always got a chance to, you know what I'm saying, for something to pop.
Now, left field real quick. Before I ask my last two questions, you were just on the phone with somebody and they had some words for you. Who was that?
Tyrone.
So are you being serious or are you?
Not Tyrone. That's my ex. We still cool. Like I'm cool with all my niggas. You know what I'm saying?
So you're a player with all your niggas.
We keep it player.
All the way player.
Yeah, when niggas I date, they really rock with saying the long way. And I got charm. You can't buy the shit at the store, so it's kind of like they don't want to let it go.
So is Saucy in a relationship right now?
I'm single and ready to mingle. I'm looking for the ballers and shot callers.
So how do all your exes feel about like you now and you still wanting to be you and etc.? Do any of them feel away? Because how he got off the phone, it sounded like y'all was still in a relationship, bro. I'm just saying.
Niggas really be trying to have my head, you know what I'm saying? But, I just keep it player, you know what I'm saying? Keep it a brick with niggas. So, it's like, I really be like having a connection, like a, you know what I'm saying? Like a friendship, you know what I'm saying, with my niggas. So, even if it don't work out, niggas still like, you know what I'm saying? That's still my bitch, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he literally just said that.
That's, you heard it yourself. So, it's like, you know what I'm saying? You just, if y'all hoes learn how to keep it playing, you gonna always be in the number. I could go double back on any one of my niggas and I'm coming home for Christmas, all that, and it's everything kosher. So I don't know, I'm just a vibe. I just got that vibe, you know what I'm saying? Niggas I really still be cool with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Tyrone done been really just got out for real. And I was dating Tyrone in like 2019 when I first started rapping. But we just still cool. Like, he still calls like, oh, yeah, man, my bitch a star. He had the radio doing his thing, blah, blah, blah. So we just cool like that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing too serious.
Respect. Now, what can the people expect from Saucy Santana in 2022?
Bigger and better. Bigger features. Better music. Better opportunities. Just, every year I want people to see that, we elevate. So every year I'm going to try to give y'all something that was like, damn, he ain't do that last year. You know what I'm saying? We love that. We rooting for him.
Now, if you could describe Saucy Santana in 3 words to end this interview, what would those 3 words be?
Authentic, confident player.
Just like that, man. Saucy Santana, Fly Guy DC. Salute to Trey Tracks. Make sure y'all go get that album. Keep it playing, and you got to keep it playing at all times, okay? It's Streets 945 with the GOAT.